hadith of the Jewish man or woman who threw trash in front of the door of the Prophet authentic?
Next question. Tight. Moving forward. Malish. Repeat the question, please. Fadal.
Which is AB, Brooklyn, New York. Assalamu alaikum. Is hadith of the Jewish man or woman who threw trash in front of the Prophet door authentic?
Tight. Any questions from where?
Brooklyn, New York.
Bismillah. Question is regarding the hadith of the Jewish person sending trash or garbage or rubbish in front of the door of the Prophet ﷺ. Is it authentic? Allahu alam. It needs further investigation and research at this moment. At the end of the day, the people who try to harm the Prophet ﷺ and annoy him while they're in Mecca or Medina, it's well known. It isn't something strange or out of the ordinary for the people to try to throw things and annoy the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, in what? In Mecca and or Al-Medina. Secondly, the Prophet ﷺ's patience upon that harm and upon that annoyance that is established in authentic ahadith in Mecca and also what? In Al-Medina. The concept remains, did someone or was there someone who threw trash and rubbish on the door of the Prophet ﷺ in Medina? And this was allowed, and it was something which was a continual practice. And what period of Medina was this done? When they first got there, how did the Prophet go to Medina? Was he ever a minority in Medina after he had the pledge from the Ansar, from the Aus and the Khazraj? So could the people throw trash and rubbish on the Prophet ﷺ's door and it was a known practice in Medina? Allahu alam. Al-Muhim, the concept of someone trying to harm the Prophet and annoy the Prophet, and the Prophet being patient and tolerant and forbearant, is something which is authentically what? Proven. That's the most important issue with regards to this answer. Wallahu alam.
Finish with AY, London, UK. If for one reason or another Isha isn't made in congregation, is it best to lengthen the salah? May Allah preserve you.
Is it best to lengthen the salat? And the question is from where? I'm sorry, once more?
London, UK.
Question from London, UK. If Isha, for one reason or another, is not made in congregation, is it best to lengthen the salah? Meaning when you make it by yourself, to lengthen the salah? I don't know of any authentic text mandating the lengthening of a salah because it was missed in congregation. I don't know about any text regarding that. Perhaps it needs some further investigation, inshallah. Wallahu alam.
Initials AK, Columbus, Ohio. Is it advisable to try and give sincere da'wah to Ahlul Kitab woman because you want to marry her? Or should I look for an already Muslim woman, even though a Muslim woman can be difficult to court?
Question from Columbus. With regards to getting married, finding a wife, courting a woman, is it permissible for me to give da'wah to a woman because I want to marry her? She's a Jew or a Christian. She's Ahlul Kitab. Even though obviously best to marry a Muslim woman, so on and so forth, but sometimes it's difficult to court, etc. There is no doubt. In our times, there's a lot of problems. There are many problems regarding getting married for Muslims today, young and old. And we've mentioned this before, some of the reasons why. And one of the reasons why is that the people are not following the authentic sunnah, nor are they following the modern Western trend. And oftentimes, many of us were just stuck in no man's land. We're not sticking to the original pure way, nor are we with the modern, changing, progressing world. We're just doing whatever we want to do. So an example of this, not restricted, but an example of this is my culture. My culture, I come from, let's say I come from Timbuktu, Methanan. As an example, not saying it's the culture of Timbuktu, but I come from Timbuktu. My culture in Timbuktu about getting married does not comply with the sunnah. Nor is it complying with Brooklyn, New York in 2019. Dating, talking online, social media, going to a car, club, whatever. It is not there or here. But it's just my Timbuktu culture. Obviously, it's not going to what? It's not going to work. And it's a problem. And anyone who's sticking to that culture is going to suffer. And this is the case with many Muslims, if not most Muslims today, especially Muslims that come from other cultures and countries, and they migrate to Western countries. They don't want to follow the sunnah of letting the child get married at a young age. They don't want to follow the sunnah of letting the person see the girl. They don't want to follow the sunnah of allowing a person to get married and they don't have that much money. They don't want to follow that, nor are they allowing their son to have a girlfriend. They're not allowing their son to go out with a girl, to see a girl, to talk with a girl. So what's going to happen is an explosion is going to happen. And in most cases, the son is going to be a victim, or he's going to suffer from this type of perversion, or this major sin, or this problem, or that problem, and that problem. The haram acts, the disliked acts, the non-Islamic acts that are a part of the modern trending world, they're haram. But from a worldly aspect, at least they're what? They're actually moving forward. That's what the people do. They go to prom, sweet 16, they do this, they do that, they date someone for several years, then they get married. But that's haram in our deen, without a question. But if you're going to not practice the deen, unfortunately, you might as well do what? Live in the world and move forward and have some type of happiness or success in the dunya. And if you're going to avoid the pleasures and this and that, then at least be on the what? On the sunnah. I'm not getting a spiritual reward nor a worldly gain, but I'm sticking to my culture from Timbuktu. That's a huge what? Problem. And many people, they suffer from this. And if you stop and you look at why you're not married, why it's difficult for you to get married in college, saving $1 million, buying a house, buying a car, doing all this, if you look at it, I don't think, humbly speaking, you'll find it leaving what I just said. You'll find a problem in that concept. Your parents aren't following the sunnah, nor are they following the worldly current trends. But I have a big fat car, I have a big fat house, I have a big fat bank account, I have all of the other modern, worldly, trendy things. You agree to this or not? And it's a huge problem with Muslim youth today. Huge problem. All right, so as the Prophet says, فَلْيُبَلِّغُ الشَّاهِدُ مِنْكُمَ الْغَائِبِ. Let those who are here and listening pass on the message to what? Those who are absent. Either you're following the sunnah, and the sunnah doesn't prevent you from doing modern things, but for argument's sake. Or you're going to follow the worldly trends. But don't be stuck in what? No man's land. Everyone understand this? So with that being said, I don't advise any Muslim to marry a Jewish or a Christian woman. Unless it's a specific situation in which the person is leaning towards al-Islam, or they clearly, fully understand the Islamic tradition of a Muslim man marrying a non-Muslim woman. And that tradition is that it is not to be of equal respect and responsibility and rights and advantages. It has to be known and established from day one. We get married, the dominant religion is Islam. The only religion in this house is what? Islam. You keep your faith, that faith is what? No doubt about that. Our children, there's no doubt, Abdurrahman, Aisha, Fulan, they be Muslims. They will not go to church, they will not go to a synagogue. My funeral will be a Muslim funeral. Their wedding will be a Muslim wedding. That has to be established from day one. And if a woman says, I don't mind these things, I want a lovely husband that can take care of me, that can provide for me, that can be my companion, we don't have to discuss religion. Or even if we do talk about Islam. Because there are many non-Muslims that do learn about Islam. They just don't accept it. But they'll talk about it. You find some non-Muslims, they'll listen to lectures. But they're just not guided. But it has to be established that these are the rules. If you hypothetically find a Jewish woman or Christian woman in 2019 that agrees to that, theoretically and practically, then that's one thing. And she's a good woman, she's chaste, she's pious. And if you don't, then obviously what? I don't advise for anyone to try to marry that type of woman, let alone have the concept of, I'm going to convert her. Everyone understand this? Everybody clear on this or not? I don't advise with that. And you should try to find a sister that's already in stride. Everyone understand this or not? As far as the actual question, can a person do this? Can you give da'wah to a person? Then you should give da'wah to a person because you want to save them from Allah's wrath. You want to save them from the hellfire by Allah's permission. You want good for them. And if you find that the woman is attractive, or she likes you, or she has qualities that will make a good wife, and you want to do it the halal way, the right way, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But the greater intention, the higher intention has to be to give da'wah to someone who's beautiful and a woman who's ugly. Quote unquote, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? And many brothers, they fall into this mistake. They only give da'wah to pretty women. They only give dawah to attractive women. Many brothers, they make this mistake. They go to college and they only give dawah to the women that are attractive and good looking. And the ones that aren't so attractive, aren't so good looking, don't have this, don't that, they'll just leave them alone. I'm burning. They said your destiny is the fire. That's wrong, brothers. Let your dawah be for what? For all. If you're given dawah and you're open to handing out CDs or pamphlets, and a very beautiful woman comes by, and she has a sparkle in her eye, the twinkle in her eye, and she wants to be a Muslim and she wants to marry you, then what? So be it. هذا من فضل ربي. Solomon said this from the what? The bounty of my Lord. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't make that your what? Your intentions. So, al-muhim is seek Allah's help. Follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Follow the permissible modern practices, and you'll find yourself a wife. And many brothers, they have requests, they have wants, they have needs, they have demands of women that are totally unrealistic. We've said this before. I want a wife like this. I want a wife like Heather. She got to be this height, this weight, this complexion, this amount of money, memorize this Quran, this Bukhari, Heather, no children. It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. Just like you're not perfect, the woman that you're going to marry is not going to be what? Perfect, let alone 2019. So try your best. Saddidu wa qaribu. The hadith says, aim for the bullseye and what? Come as close to the mark as you possibly can. Everyone understand this? And live in a real world, brothers, and not in a fantasy world. That's my advice. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. I believe it's time for the iqamah now. Is it 10:30? So what time is the iqamah? 10:30 or just floating time? طيب خير صلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد